What's up, everybody? I'm Metal Nick.
I'm Jeff Christopher.
Welcome to episode number 86 of Vinyl Bang, where today we are talking about, what are we talking about, Jeff?
We are talking about secret hidden tracks on albums that are hidden. Yeah, secret tracks that you had to find and were not listed on the album.
Some of the stories that we're going to tell today definitely involve me sitting around playing video games, listening to music, and then the album ends, and the next thing I know, I'm like, what the hell is that? You're going to hear that a couple times here, but
Yeah,
this was a fun concept. If you don't know, a lot of albums have, yes, unlisted tracks, or like the song will end and it'll go for like 15, 20 minutes with blanks, with dead space, silence, and then all of a sudden, uh, boom, a new
we'll start
song
playing.
kicks on. Yeah. It was an incredible discovery when I was a kid. When Jeff and I were putting this list together, Jeff was very specific. We have to start strong and we have to end strong. And boy, oh boy, are we going to start strong with probably the most ultimate of secret tracks, Nevermind.
Nirvana, Nevermind. Yeah. Might be the first one I ever heard. Might be the first hidden secret track that I've ever had the experience with, which is why it should have been featured first.
Absolutely. That's exactly why I thought of doing it. I've got a pretty great story of how I discovered it and it was and all that. But Jeff, before we started recording, we had to restart because some technical errors. But Jeff, why don't you start this episode off?
Technical difficulties. It happens. It's fucking internet. So anyway, my story with Nirvana Nevermind, and this is my original case, one of the original. I bet I bought this album 4 or 5 times as a kid, as a teenager. And this is my BMG copy. I don't know if you can see that because of the glare or whatever, but this is BMG with no disc. It's actually missing the CD. Who knows where the CD is? But Nirvana Nevermind. The first time I ever heard the secret track, it was Jamerson from 15, 20 episodes, however long ago it was. Brad Jameson had a copy that had the secret track, and we were listening to it at Travis Gurneman's house. And he was showing, we of course learned about the secret hidden track, and then I went home and listened to my CD, and it didn't have a copy, or it didn't have that hidden track. And I'm like, what the fuck? Why doesn't mine have it? What's so special about yours? Did you get a special copy or whatever? And he was like, no, I just bought it from Walmart, So come to find out, however long later it was, that certain copies had the secret track and certain copies didn't. Why? I don't know. Maybe that just inspired people to buy more copies of Nevermind until they eventually got the hidden track. I don't know. But whenever they did the 30th anniversary on vinyl, and I'm sure they did the box set and everything, or the CD box set and everything too. They released the track Endless Nameless along with Even in His Youth and Aneurysm, which were B-sides on the Smells Like Teen Spirit and
Lithium. And
what was it? Lithium? I don't remember what B-side Aneurysm was, if it was Come As You Are or...
No, Aneurysm was Smells Like Teen Spirit. Yeah. Been a Sun was on Lithium, and I think Come As You Are had Endless Nameless.
Yeah, but Even in His Youth.
That was actually on
No, it Smells Like Teen Spirit
as well. Yeah, I had 2 different versions of Smells Like Teen Spirit. One had the Butch Big edit of Smells Like Teen Spirit, so the solo was a little different.
Yeah, I remember that too.
Yeah.
But anyway, this was Endless Nameless is a bonus track on the 7-inch, and I don't know if it's actually a hidden track on the vinyl or not. I haven't even listened to it, but I have listened to the 7-inch copy of Endless Nameless.
So I'm not sure it's on my 12-inch. I don't think it is. I can look real fast, but absolutely not. I think it was a CD specific thing. My story's a little bit the same. I used to kick it with this guy Jay Spiegel. We would go throw a ball outside his house. His neighbor Jamie came over one day and was like, "Hey, did you guys hear the new Nirvana? There's a secret track on it." And I guess at the time we were in the 6th grade, because I remember a few months later we had graduated from the sixth grade, and Jay's parents had bought him a new boombox, and he got Nevermind on CD. and he called me up and he was like, "Hey, like I listened to it and it didn't have a secret track on it." And at the time, I was only collecting cassette tapes, and I remember buying mine and not really knowing what I was listening to. And I remember after Polly ended, right? Yeah, after Polly ended, there was this blank space, and then the tape flipped over, and then Territorial Pissings started. And the first time I heard Territorial Pissings, I thought that was it. Boy, was I wrong. Um, I remember Jay got his, and he told me he listened to it, and it didn't have the secret track. And we tried flipping the CD over like a record, thinking that it was going to be on the other side. Fast forward to a year later, I'm in the 7th grade. I'm hanging out with one of my best friends, Joey Bernstein. We're at his house playing Sega Genesis, listening to Nevermind. I remember he had bought it. We were sitting there playing video games, and the album, something in the way it ended, and it was just dead silence. And me and Joey were playing, and all of a sudden, he was. Blum, 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 and we both looked at each other. And we're like, "Oh my god, this is it!" I mean, at the time, it was the greatest thing to discover that this band has a hidden track on their album, and if I'm sure Jeff can back me up on this. At the time that this album came out, this album meant the fucking world to me. I
Oh,
mean, there
yeah.
was nothing better. This band erased a whole genre of music, for God's sakes. But this record was just incredible. Anything about it, any specifics, any little story about how they recorded stuff, just intrigued the shit out of me. And the fact that there was an unlisted track was just the coolest fucking thing in the world. I'm glad you mentioned it. It is called Endless Nameless. I believe it came with Come As You Are single. But man, like as a kid hearing this was just, it was so cool. And I'll talk about it later in the show. There was a secret track that I had heard before, but not as impactful as this one was, because this was a great album. I mean, bands literally went to Sound City just because of how well this album turned out. The
Well,
recording.
yeah, I do. Nevermind is, I mean, just a monumental album in itself. Whether it was 1991 or 2025, it still
Mm-hmm.
still has a huge impact on people, and it's still just a milestone in the music community, collectively. But
For
awesome
sure.
album.
Amazing album. Yeah, hands down. Like whether you're a Nirvana fan or not, like it doesn't affect me one way or another. That record, like, it changed my life as a little kid. I discovering Nirvana and listening to all of his stuff, it was incredible to me. But that, like we said, we wanted to start strong, and we absolutely did. That was a heavy hitter. I mean, as a kid, discovering that was just such a big deal to me.
For
But
sure.
yeah, I'm glad we both had good stories about it from our youth, because that's it's what the show's all about, the stories, right?
All right.
Moving on to another secret track from another album that coincidentally features the drummer of Nirvana.
What a twist.
I'm talking about the Mosquito song, even though it's listed. Jeff, why don't you go into the detail about why we chose this, because this was a unique one, right?
Oh, Mosquito Song, like it may have been where it wasn't listed on the original copies, like the first pressings, like another album that we're going to go to in a little bit.
Oh yes.
This one, yeah, this track, like I first heard the Mosquito Song on a B side or a dev or a bootleg or something, because I remember it being an individual track, like not following the end of Songs for the Deaf. And then whenever we were doing research and I found out it was a secret hidden track on Songs for the Deaf, I'm like, oh, absolutely have to talk about the Mosquito Song. It's just so solemn, just so like
Beautiful. So
it is.
beautiful.
It really is. It really is. But another one, another track before this one, it's actually after Songs for the Deaf or Song for the Dead, right?
Deaf. You got it.
Yeah, song for the Deaf. The Feel Good Ha Ha of the Summer, is that what they called it?
I don't know what they. I'm going to tell my story in a minute, but go ahead.
It's yeah. Whenever I was looking up on Wikipedia to see what exactly this was called, it's called the Feel Good Ha Ha of the Summer, and it's Feel Good Hit of the Summer, but instead of lyrics, they all this ha 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 ha. Dun, 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 dun. So that's actually kind of like a pre secret track before Mosquito Song, but still kind of cool. Still.
No, absolutely. 100% agree. I think like because yes, Song for the Deaf ends, blank silence for a little bit, and then you hear the bass kick in, and they go ha 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 ha. 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 Now the first time I'm hearing this, I truly think these guys are mocking deaf people and just singing the song like they were deaf. I apologize. I didn't, I'm not trying to offend nobody here, but like they're musicians. Sometimes musicians do shitty things. I don't know how shitty of people Queens of the Stone Age are, but um, that song ends and then the Mosquito song starts, and like Jeff said, it's a beautiful song. Like I really liked Rated R, and it just hit me differently than most metal albums that I was listening at the time because this is not a metal band. This is a pure rock band. But when this album came out, my level of respect went way up for this band. It had nothing to do with Dave Grohl. It was just the musicianship, the whole camaraderie of what these guys were doing. But like every song on this record is just like so well written, and I'm going off beat. We're talking about the Mosquito song for God's sake.
That's
That
okay.
that
It's all
that
right.
track. I mean, like I'll put it out there like this. Like I love Queens of the Stone Age. I remember buying this album and just listening to it over and over because I was so obsessed with the one before it. The Mosquito song. It is listed on my vinyl, but it's it's still like I think they try to lead you to believe that you're listening to a secret track. That's my honest opinion. I don't know if I'm right. I could be wrong. Sometimes bands do things maliciously like that just to fuck with their fans, but
Yeah, who knows?
um, from Nevermind to Songs for the Deaf, these are two very strong, powerful records that hit me hard as a kid and still to this day hold up very very strong.
Oh, absolutely.
Um,
Absolutely.
and while we're on the subject of Queens of the Stone Age, I think while we were just trying to compile this list together, we discovered that like Lullaby at the end of Lullabies to Paralyze, the follow up album to Songs for the Deaf, the final song is Long Slow Kiss Goodbye, and they
Long, slow goodbye.
Long Slow Goodbye. Right,
Long,
right.
slow goodbye.
I don't know why I keep thinking there's a kiss in there. But I believe there's a track after that as well. But Queens of the Stone Age, man, like they're a great band, and kudos to them for doing the secret track stuff because that's unlisted or not, that's still some cool shit.
Oh,
And we were
absolutely.
just as far as talking about unlisted, I know we mentioned this, and hey, it's the next one here, so let's get to it. Again, Nick, Little Metal Nick in the sixth grade discovering Dr. Dre's first solo album. My sister had bought in this, and I remember I listened to it a lot. And one day, and if you have the compact disc, this is what the compact disc looked like. That's like when you popped it into the CD tray. I
Right.
remember coming home from school one day and my dad just sitting there staring at that. And he looked up at me. And I'm sorry, I was very ignorant as a little kid. I did not know what a pot leaf looked like. I didn't even know what fucking pot was. I always hear people talking about it. Um, but this record, it was my sister's. It was her CD. I eventually own the record now. But Jeff pointed it out to me. I had no fucking idea. I always thought Bitches Ain't Shit was the Chronic outro, the Roach, and it's not. And it was an unlisted track, but like I always remember when that album ended and that song started, I was like, oh shit.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah. Whenever Nick and I were doing research for this, like I looked on Wikipedia and it said that the Chronic had a hidden track and that it was Bitches Ain't Shit. And I'm like, really? I never thought it was a hidden track either, but I guess I never looked at the track list on my CD or whatever at the time. And I don't know that this one would have actually made this episode had I not had an original. What year did this come out? 91?
yeah. 92.
Yeah, 92. Yeah, I can't even
92,
see
yeah.
without taking my fucking glasses off. God, I am old, need new glasses. But anyway, so I have an original 92 press or cassette, and it actually does not have. I know that's not going to turn out well at all. I might have to do a screenshot or something to show that, but it actually shows that the Roach is, as Nick said, the Chronic outro, and Bitches Ain't Shit is not listed on this track list at all, but it is on there. So, secret track. The Chronic makes the episode because of Bitches Ain't Shit not being listed. So, all the other copies that I have, even the long box, the vinyl, that I got from Target a couple years back. It's got it doesn't even say bitches ain't shit. It says bitches ain't s blank blank blank.
Yeah.
Bitches ain't s. They can put bitches, but they can't put shit.
I mean, I'm looking at all these track lists. They will censor the F word, the S word, and that's it. Everything else is on here. I mean, they got the
Everything else is on
parental.
your.
You got your parental advisory sticker there. Real quick, because we just went from Nevermind to this. I remember the first time hearing Dre Day. I was at my sixth grade school dance, and they did some stupid trivia. I don't remember what the question was that I got right, but I won. I got to choose my prize, and I chose the Dre Day single. I mean, man, talk about fucking. I know we're talking about secret tracks right now, but again, what a fucking album! This was like the real
Dude,
first. This was the
yeah.
first hip hop album that I was like fully like. I like binged it so hard. I listened to it so much. For a long time, I considered this to be my favorite hip hop album until I heard the Jizza's Liquid Sword and even Paul's Boutique. But still, uh, great fucking album. If it weren't for this album, we never would have heard Snoop Dogg.
No, the world. I mean, that was the world's introduction to Snoop Dogg. And from what I remember, stories or whatever that I've heard is that Snoop didn't even smoke weed before he was on that album. Like Dr. Dre got him smoking weed.
That's fucking wild.
Like I mean, every dude, right wing evangelist Christians listen to the fucking Chronic. Everybody listened to the Chronic in 1991 or 92. Everybody.
This was such a powerful fucking
It
record.
was, and it still is, dude. It's one of those
Mm,
albums where if I got nothing else to listen to, I'll throw on the fucking Chronic.
dude, the beats, the bass.
Yeah.
Where is it? Lyrical Gangbang is one of my favorite tracks. This track should be played at high volume, preferably in a residential.
Area.
And that fucking beat. I highly recommend this album. I know we're talking about secret tracks today, but like, man, if you've not listened to this, do it. I'm sure everybody's seen this. This is like the zigzag thing with Dre's face in it because Dre fucking rules. What a producer.
Yeah.
I thought he killed it on this album, and yeah, like Jeff said, if he hadn't Googled done his research there, this album would not have made the list today. And I'm glad we talked about this one because definitely one of my favorite albums. It didn't make it in my top 20. It should have because it was a very influential record for me as a young kid,
Didn't
right
make
before
it
my
in mine.
teenage years hit.
Yeah, dude, and it's like you said, it's definitely the first hip hop album I ever wrote.
Absolutely.
Absolutely the first one, and it's still just such a monumental. I
I
own two or three copies on vinyl, and I got the long box for Record Store Day a couple years ago, and it's still like I would buy merch. I would buy a shirt that had the Chronic on it and wear it proudly because it's the fucking Chronic, dude. It's such a good album.
Yeah, no, for sure, great record. All right, our next secret track, 12 Gracious Melodies from a
Stone
very
Temple Pilots.
there we go. A
Yeah.
very popular band from the 90s as well. We're stuck in the 90s here. That's when secret tracks were ruling the world.
Nothing wrong with the 90s.
No,
Best
fuck
era
no.
of music ever.
I'm not going to argue that. Um, my sister was a huge Stone Temple Pilots fan. It's no secret she had a giant crush on Scott Weiland. She even met him one night. I'll tell that story some other day. I remember my friend Joey Bernstein getting this, and his disc had like the scales of the dragon here on it. And then my sister's disc had like icing from the birthday cake on it. This was another one of those like cool ways to like sell shit because like there's multiple different copies of it. But what's the last track on this album, Jeff? It doesn't have the track list on the back.
Kitchenware and candy bars.
There you go. That track ends, and then all of a sudden you start hearing this really lovely music start to kick in, and Scott Weiland with his baritone voice starts singing our second album. I mean, this threw me off. It really did, but it's a very unique secret track. I probably, if I would have heard it as an adult, I'd have been like, oh God. But as a kid, I really enjoyed it. It made me laugh a little. I thought this was a very, it was cool. They went a little away from what their music does sound like, but let's not deny that Purple is probably one of the, I think it's their best album. I do. It had all more hits than any of the other ones do, but with that secret track, it's very unique. It sets a different tone on the album. It ends the album on a different tone, I should say. But uh, this was a cool one. I think we both forgot about it, and luckily, one of our brains was working that day.
Yours was. I mean, Purple's my favorite album as well, and you know, I didn't even consider it. I mean, whenever I was started going through the list on Wikipedia, I'd been like, God damn it, why didn't I think of Purple? But a funny thing about this is, and I was just verifying this on Discogs, Kitchenware and Candy Bars is track number 11. So without the hidden track, there would be no 12 Gracious Melodies.
But it's not a list. It's not track
It's not
12,
listed.
right?
It's not listed.
Yeah.
So therefore, the back of the album should give it away that there is a hidden track, because the track listing, which, as you stated, as there is no track list.
There's 11 tracks, but the 12th track is technically the secret
12th track is the 12th Gracious Melody. So, I mean, it's still not listed. It's still a hidden track, but that's like a dead giveaway that there's a hidden track on the album.
Yeah,
and I didn't pick up on it. I didn't pick up on it, you know.
I think if anybody popped the CD into their tray, because most CDs are all CD players will read how many tracks are on there, and you're going to be like, "What the fuck? There's only 11 tracks on here. Why does the back say 12?" You know.
Right.
But they led you into quite a surprise there. So
and real quick, talking about the different copies of the CD, the cake and the while last night while I was digging all the stuff out, I was going through my old CDs. So there's going to be 4 or 5 CDs I'm gonna feature in this, and I have 2 of the 4 or 5 copies I know that I bought on vinyl or on CD at the time. The one on top is pretty bad. I mean, I don't even know why I'm even doing this, because you're not even going to be able to really tell. But there's some scratches, and it's pretty banged up. The one on bottom looks like I took it through a fucking, just ran it over a gravel road and drove over it with a semi, because I mean it's just scratched to fuck. Which explains why there's 2 copies of it in this in this tray. But yeah, just to go back on the dragon scale disc or whatever, but 2 copies.
Yeah. Oh, I'm glad one of us had it on CD, because you could show it off. I mean, it would have been great if one of them was the icing one, but still,
icing, yeah.
It gives people the idea. I think somebody else did that, but I can't remember who. I'm drawing a blank right now, and I don't want to.
JR.
I don't want to waste our time thinking about it, because you know how we get when we get into brain farts. Moving on. This is a secret track that I brought up that Jeff did not know existed, and I'm shocked. I'm really shocked.
I didn't.
One of Sweden's best. I'm going to say one of Sweden's best, because we know Sweden's full of a lot of great bands. Meshuggah's Chaosphere. This came out in 1998. If you ask me, this is probably their most metal album. I know after this they went full on djent, and they inspired a whole new genre of music after this. But for those of you who don't know, Meshuggah Chaosphere, the last track on the album is called Elastic. When it ends, they play this one riff over and over and over again. It kind of gets annoying. It may piss you off if you hear it, because they're like playing these like off notes, off tuney like things, and it's like meow, 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 meow. I'm not going to do it and annoy the shit out of you guys. That keeps going, and then it just goes into this like feedback that lasts for a good like 4 to 5 minutes. And then all of a sudden, this loud noise starts. And I remember the first time hearing it, trying to like piece together what I'm listening to. And basically, what Meshuggah did is they replayed the entire album, but they from start to finish. But what they did was they layered every track on top of each other and then just went. So if you listen to it, it's all the songs just layered on top of each other, and that's the secret track. So you get to listen to the album twice in one sitting. It's fucking brilliant, in my opinion. This isn't an OG pressing. This is the Atomic Fire pressing that I don't know how this label got rights to this. Good for them, though. Pretty cool looking. The Chaosphere logo there. I would say this is really when I was getting heavy into Meshuggah, because the Lamb of God guys had recommended this band to me, and this was their newest one at the time, even though I'm a big Destroy, Erase, Improve guy. This album just full on metal. This came out, and I think a lot of people were just holy shit. And then a couple years later, Nothing came out, which wasn't my favorite. When they started to slow down, they weren't as thrashy as they were, but they certainly like brought on this new style of heavy.
Right.
If that makes sense.
No, absolutely. I mean, they're still heavy. I mean, the stuff they're still doing now, it wasn't the same.
They are the king of 8 strings now. I mean,
True. And whenever you and I were talking about this, and you brought up the fact that this had hidden track, and I didn't know, I got into Meshuggah with Destroy, Erase, Improve. Like, I didn't really, I don't remember what got me into that album, but that's still my favorite. Like, I just I delve more into Destroy, Erase, Improve than I did Chaos Here. I didn't get into Chaos Here until years and years and years later, and it wasn't until it was on vinyl. Like, I never had it on CD. I never had Chaos Here on CD, so that may have been the reason why I never heard the hidden track, because I never had access to it. So
I mean, the grooves, the patterns on this album, it's like I said, it's their most thrashy, their most metal album. But like, there's a song on here called "The Mouth Licking What You Bled," and I just like listening to it in my head right now. It's amazing what these guys are capable of doing, and off times signatures and all that. Like they really perfected it on this album. Like, and especially at the speed that they were going at. Like, I scratch my head at these guys. Like, I don't know if there's something in the water in Sweden that make their musicians like a million times better than everybody else in the world, but these guys are really smart. They're really fucking smart. I've met a bunch of them. I've met them all actually, and I try to pick their brains, but I could say like first time I met their drummer, he looked at Thomas Hawk. I asked him to play the song War, and he looked at me. He's like, "Are you crazy, man?" But because that song was performed on a drum machine.
Yeah.
But Meshuggah, I can't say anything bad about them. One of the best metal bands in the world, and that's a very unique secret track. I've never heard anybody do that before.
I still haven't heard it. I need to go. I need to get on YouTube and listen to it after this episode's over. But what's the third track on that? The song after New Millennium, Cyanide Christ, Corridor of Chameleons.
Yep.
Dude, that song is. God damn, that's heavy, dude. I fucking love that song.
In my opinion, I feel like they must have like watched a chameleon walk, and they wrote the songs and the beat of how it was walking. That's how I always thought of it, because that, again, like these guys. Like,
Stop.
You don't know. Bark.
Yeah, dog sitting. Sorry, Kane is very, very territorial. He's barking at the dog across the street. Knock it off.
Go get that bitch across the street, Kane. All right. Our next secret track from a band who we just had their guitarist on our show recently, and what a fucking album this is. Cephalic Carnage, Xenosapien. Jeff, you can start this one off.
Yeah, this is. I love this hidden track. I really do. I mean,
no vocals.
No vocals. It's very doomy, sludgy. I mean,
yes.
Fun fucking album. It's hard for me to say which is my favorite Cephalic Carnage album, but this is definitely one of my top 6 favorite Cephalic Carnage albums. And it's just, I fucking love this album, and I will always let Of Vicissitude play. It's one of my favorite tracks on the album. It's like the Omega Point and Of Vicissitude. Netherton's on Of Vicissitude.
Yes. Yeah, no, you're right. I'm going to get to that. Go ahead.
Okay. Go ahead. But yeah, and Netherton's part, like Cephalic, it's very, very Misery Index-ish. His part, his vocals fit that part of the song so well. And it's like once you listen to that song, and it's just the way it wraps up that and then it just silence for a couple of minutes, whatever it is, and that. I'll let you talk now.
Well, okay. So I remember way before this album came out, Jason had told me that he had lent his vocals on this album. Oh, what a catch! Jason had told me he had lent his vocals on this record, and when I pre-ordered it from Relapse, and then I saw that Newberry Comics in Massachusetts was selling pre-orders on CD, but it was autographed by the band. So I was like, oh, I'm going to get that instead. So I canceled my Relapse pre-order and then got mine from Newberry. When it came in the mail, I went straight to Of Vicissitude, because I looked on the back, or I looked at the booklet to see what track Jason was on. And like Jeff said, very Misery Index. Jason's got this very unique voice that just, you hear it, you know that's Jason Netherton. I fell in love with that track so quickly. But so the track ends, and it's like Jeff says, dead silence. And then you keep hearing Leonard go, or Lenzig, you keep hearing go, not yet. It just spaces out. It keeps going for a little bit, and it's just be like, not yet. Just dead silence. Okay, I'm ready. And he like starts screaming, and then the song ends, and then boom. Now, do we have a title for the secret track? Do we know?
Growl, Grawl,
Cool.
Graul, Grawl.
Thank you. That track kicks in, and like Jeff says, it's a very doomy, sludgy track. These guys really know how to put together a list for a record, a track list for a record. The way they end this album, it just, that vibe is so fucking good. Man, you know,
Yes,
when you buy the CD, actually, that's
it's
what the
that
CD is.
artwork.
Yeah, that one right there. That's what I had for the longest time. Again, kudos to these guys. Just like Lucid Interval, different CD and vinyl cover art. You guys are brilliant. So far, like Steve, do our show. Yeah. What can I say that Jeff has already said about this band and this record? Probably top 6 Sulfolic Carnage albums. I mean, I think Vaporize was a good one for me on this. Divination and Volation, that's a really speedy one. Yeah, I mean, this band, I fucking love this band so much. Like, I cannot wait for Maryland Death Fest next year, because we're gonna party, boys. We are going to party, and one of my favorite things about this band is their bass player Nick. He's got to be one of the funniest human beings alive, one of the nicest dudes alive, and quite possibly one of the best bass players I've ever met in my life. I know a lot of good bass players. Evan Brewer, shout out to him. But Nick, what we call him Nick Shins, because his last name is just unpronounceable, especially for a stoner like me. But I fucking love this band. I love these guys. Great people. If it weren't for Jeff Grindstoffer, I probably wouldn't be as into this band as I was, because Jeff helped me out that one night with listing all those songs after I saw them live. But shout out Sulfolic Carnage. Great fucking band. I love them. Shout out Jeff Grindstoffer for introducing me to Sulfolic Carnage. Yeah, raise the roof, Jeff.
Yeah, back to having Steve do the show. Steve, answer your fucking text messages. God damn, dude. I've been texting you for the last week and a half. I'm starting to get worried about you, dude. Like, fucking answer your shit. Yeah, Xenosapien, dude, phenomenal album. I'm looking forward to Maryland Death Fest next year. I have not bought my ticket yet, but that lineup is ridiculous. I'm going. I will be there. I just haven't bought my ticket yet.
If you are not there for Prowler in the Yard Part 2, Jeff.
Right.
All right. Moving on.
Moving on.
This next secret track is, personally, this is my favorite secret track ever. I'm going to start this one off because in 1997, the Deftones released their follow-up, their sophomore album, Around the Fur. I'm covering up her boobs. I'm sorry. I remember this guy I used to hang out with. His name was Bong Hits. I'm not going to tell you his real name because that guy's a piece of shit. But he had this CD. He let me borrow it, and I used to listen to it all the time. And then one day, when the final track on it is called MX, when that track ended, there was a long, long blank space of silence. And then I should have looked it up, because they have it like listed on how long you have to wait. Long blank silence, and all of a sudden you start hearing like somebody taking a bong hit, which I believe is Chino Moreno. And then after that, more silence. And then all of a sudden you hear the drums kick in. The name of the song is called Damone. It is by far my favorite Deftones song. It's the coolest one I've ever heard them write. Chino's vocals on this song are just so fucking strong. Yeah, I can see why all these women fucking love that dude. He's got a great fucking voice. But sorry, Chino, I ain't gay for you. I love you though, bro. You're a great vocalist. This album is incredible. It's a very long wait before the music actually kicks in, but like, I know like people have like marked when the bong hit part starts and then when the music actually starts. Great album. I know everybody loves My Own Summer and Be Quiet and Drive Far and Away. There's a song on here called Head Up that Max Cavalera did right before, I guess right as he was starting Soulfly. He had the band and everything. All he does is come out and yell Soulfly on this a couple times. But Yeah, Deftones around the fur. Look, she's got a little belly button tattoo down there. And it's pierced, though. But Jeff, when we were researching, you pointed out that Adrenaline also has secret tracks, and I don't know, dude. I don't never listen to anything after White Pony.
I forget what the secret track on Lifer, I think, or
I
Fireall.
think Fireall might be. Because the
Fireall.
song ends and then there's like silence and then it kind of kicks in with like the slow guitar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Early Deftones can't go wrong. New Deftones can't go wrong. We'll get into that later in the episode. But
you can definitely go wrong.
Has its moments. Has its moments, ladies and gentlemen. But we'll get into that later on.
All right.
Yeah.
You got anything else to add to the Deftones?
No. It's an awesome track. I'm glad that we talked about it.
I didn't want to do this episode.
Nick covered everything. So it's an awesome track.
I certainly didn't want to do this episode without mentioning it because I felt like, in my opinion, as far as secret tracks, that's like the hardest one I've ever heard personally. I mean, I know that Meshuggah one was pretty fucking heavy, but Jesus Christ, like I love that Deftones song a lot.
Me too.
All right. We're going to move on to something that came out probably like 50 plus years ago. And this actually technically might be the very first secret track I had ever heard in my life. Now, I'm going to start off with, before I became a big music fan, my dad, he played music, he listened to music, his life was music. And his favorite band of all time were the Beatles. This is the album that he would play for me that I would constantly pull off his shelf and put the CD in and just listen to it over and over because I hear people say all the time, it's like discovering music for the first time. And that's literally what I felt when I heard the Beatles. Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds, that intro of that song was just so fucking huge to me. But, so the story with this is at the end of the very last track is called A Day in the Life. When this track ends, it's just like piano, and you just hear like the feedback from the piano go, and then all of a sudden this like weird noise kicks in, and it's like the Beatles are yelling relentless, like crazy shit. Now, there's two different versions of what people are saying. Think they're saying. It's either never to see any other way, and other people are saying never to be any other way. Whatever it is, it's on repeat. It almost sounds like an Nana Paddywhack or something weird like that. I don't know. But they the track list, or when I researched it, they made it sound like they're all screaming like noise, and then somebody's saying that over. Now, back in the day when vinyl was really all, it would, if you know what a lock groove is, we've talked about this in the past. The vinyl will end, and then it just gets stuck on that, and it loops it over and over again. So like, if you're far away from your record player, and this thing, on CD, it lasts for maybe like 15 seconds, but if it's stuck on your record player, you're stuck with this obnoxious sound for quite some time. In my opinion, I think this might have been the first secret track I ever heard. There's a lot of conspiracies that like the Paul McCartney is dead thing had something to do with it, but I think the guys who are alive now have shot those rumors down. It's just, but this was a very important record to me. This is really where music started for me, to be honest with you. And I know there's a lot of Beatles haters out there. That's fine. You're not hurting my feelings. Like, I can still listen to them because you don't like them. But, and I tell people this all the time, A Day in the Life is my favorite Beatles song. It's a very beautiful song. It's a little sad at times, but a lot of bands are influenced by the Beatles, whether you know it or not, whether you hate it.
I got nothing against the Beatles. I like the drugs Beatles more than I like the bubblegum pop early shit.
No, for sure. And I'll point out, I've heard Alex Skolnick tell this story. When they wrote this album, they were no longer a live band. When they used to perform live, the women would scream so loud that back in the day, they didn't make PAs that big yet. So like, they just couldn't support like them playing a live show. If you sat in the nosebleeds, you couldn't hear shit because the women were just screaming so loud for them. So they went in the studio. They recorded this album with full intentions of never performing these songs live. These are all like, there's a lot of studio magic, so to speak, on this record. But damn, I cannot slide this back into the sleeve. All right, that's happening later. Wasting time with that shit. I'm sorry.
That's all right. That's all right. No, I do not own that album on vinyl, and I should. I don't even own it on CD, and I should.
And for the record, I'm also a fan of their early poppy stuff. The very simple, like "She Loves You," yeah, yeah, and "I Saw Her Standing There." All those songs are great to me. Like my father would play that stuff on repeat so much that like I fell in love with it. Like I don't care like how corny or simple it was. Like people could say that about all that early music that happened back in the day. I mean, like,
oh, sure.
I'm sorry, Mohammed Shumez wasn't out there fucking shredding on his guitar in the fucking 50s or 40s, 60s, whatever. But yeah, you got to start somewhere. I don't care if I started off with what people think are the softest band. I think the Beatles are one of the greatest bands ever. Mm-hmm. So,
no, for sure.
Yeah,
great band.
Great album. Oh man, we skipped something. I forgot.
I was gonna say, yeah. Whenever you started talking, I was like, what? We skipped.
we
skipped one. I know you don't like it, Nick, but we still gotta talk about it.
I apologize. I didn't realize that.
All good.
Jeff, what did we skip?
We skipped one of the. What? It's fun. It's fun. this hidden track is so fun because it's like, what? The way that the album ends with FOD, Fuck Off and Die, and then it goes into All By Myself. Talk about Green Day's Dookie. Yeah, the hidden track is Trey Cool with an acoustic guitar singing I Was Alone, Nobody Was Looking, I Was All By Myself. And it just, dude, I fucking love that song. It's so fun. It's just, puts a smile on your face, whether you like Green Day or not.
So that was the drummer on that track.
Trey Cool, yes.
Okay, I didn't know that. My story's a little different. Again, I was kicking it with Joey Bernstein. We were at his house. We were playing Sega Genesis in his bedroom. We were listening to that CD. I did not know First Over a Dinosaur was the last track on the album, but we were listening to it. The CD ended, and there was dead blank air, and then all of a sudden that kicked in, and Joey and I looked at each other, and I was all by myself. Nobody was watching. I was like, is this dude talking about beating it? Mm-hmm. And, I will admit I am not a Green Day fan, never was, but they had some catchy tunes that certainly made them the biggest pop punk band on the planet. I won't take away from that because those guys have certainly made a big name for themselves. I even seen them live, not on purpose. They headlined a festival I was at, and they were cool enough to bring a fan up on stage and let them play guitar for one of their songs. I mean, like, they really know how to give you a good show. I'll throw that their way. But yeah, that album came out when I was in the 8th grade. It blew the fuck. Basket Case blew the fuck up. I mean, that song was. What was the other one? When I Come Around.
When I Come Around, Longview. I mean,
Longview.
Welcome to Paradise, dude. The fucking album is full of hits.
I remember When I Come Around was such a huge because it was like it's not a ballad, but it's like a softer song opposed to the other. It's not as punk as the other two.
Right.
And I always remember like just that. That's a catchy riff, man. Whether you like them or not, I can admit that those guys. They really knew how to fucking pull you in with their voices. Their music was off something else. Not for me, but I know a lot of people like it. I've met people that told me like the only reason they are musicians today is because of Green Day. So, they're spring chickens.
Yeah, a buddy of mine, Justin Tibbs, Alf, as we called him in high school, because I don't know why. I guess he looked like Batman's butler. I think it was short for Alfred, but we called him Alf. And he always said that whenever you listen to Green Day, that Mike Dirnt and Trey Cool were the tightest rhythm section ever. And once I really thought about it, it's almost like Justin Chancellor and Adam Jones and Danny Carey. It's like, when you're listening to the rhythm section for Tool, it's like the same thing with Green Day. Like, whenever you're listening to Mike Dirnt and Trey Cool. Couple other things. A couple of years back, Sierra and I went and saw Pierce the Veil or something, whatever show it was, but it was a show full of like mid-20s, early 30-year-old kids. And Basket Case came on, and the entire crowd was singing along to Basket Case. And I'm like, that's cool. That entire generation knows this song. It almost seemed like an anthem for them, for kids that were my daughter's age. So I was like, that's kind of cool to know that Green Day still has that effect on people, all these years later. And third thing, I also know a Joey Bernstein. Probably not the same guy, but I also know a Joey Bernstein. You've said his name twice now in this episode. I was like, I gotta fucking say something. I know Joey Bernstein. Say who?
This guy was my best friend when I was a little kid, and my formative years of being a metalhead. I was a big Motley Crue Metallica fan. Joey was a big Metallica fan, but he loved Iron Maiden as well. And when we got together, we started hanging out. And he's the guy who got me into professional wrestling. But like when we got together, we started discussing metal. Like I remember those next couple of years of just like me and him just trading CDs and tapes and just that was my dude, man. Like
No.
shout out to Joey Bernstein. I'm sure he doesn't watch his show, but he was one hell of a friend when I was a kid, and we all grow apart.
Sure.
All
Moving
right.
on.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to skip Dookie, but
All good.
moving on to number 10. We chose 11 this episode. Oh,
12. Yep. This one's a compilation.
all right. Well, yeah, I got that. We'll get there when we get there. If I miss something, I'll let you introduce the next one because I think I'm missing one on my list. But whatever. Anyways, number 10. Uh, I no alternative. And this album is no alternative. Matthew Sweet, Buffalo Tom, Soul Asylum, Urge Overkill, American Music Club, Goo Goo Dolls, Pavement, Smashing Pumpkins, Bob Mould, Sarah McLachlan, Soundgarden, Straight Jacket Fits, Barbara Manning, the Verliners, Uncle Tupelo, Beastie Boys, the Breeders, Sonic Youth, Jonathan Richman, and then the last track on here is by an artist named Patti Smith. And then there's an unlisted track on here. And I only heard rumors about it, so I went and bought it. Lo and behold, there's a fucking Nirvana song on here. Now, Jeff's going to back me up on this. When we were kids, I think it was known as verse, chorus, verse to most people. It's not listed, so we had no idea. Years later, when with the Lights Out box set came out, it was properly introduced to the world as Sappy. I mean, again, tricking fans into buying an album because there's an unlisted track on there, but this was a really fucking. This came out in 1993, so I have to believe that this was off of the In Utero sessions, right?
Yeah. It had to have been a very, very, very B-side from Nevermind. Dude, that album. Now, I mean, I had it on CD, but whenever you went through and read the track list, that thing is the '90s threw up all over that fucking thing. Dude, that's a fun fucking. I am so jealous that you have that on vinyl. Whenever you hit me up the day that you got that, I'm like, dude, I would love to have that on vinyl. Was that 1001?
Number 1001 too. Yeah, I found this randomly at it was a record store day release, but I bought it years after the fact. It's a 20th anniversary. I bought it at Celebrated Summer. Shout out to those guys. Awesome. Oh, and you know what? This was the cover I got, but when I had it on CD, I had this cover.
The boy, yeah. I never had the boy.
Standard black vinyl, but yeah, I mean this again. You're putting a hidden track on an album of probably at the time the biggest band in the world. Am I wrong?
Biggest band in the world. No.
Biggest band in the world. I mean, like Nirvana was so fucking huge, and for somebody like me who's just obsessed with everything they did, and I had to own anything I could find with them on it. This was so cool to me because this was an unreleased track that they did that a couple times that year. The Beavis and Butthead Experience had I Hate Myself and I Want to Die. It was a listed track, but still, it was a song that wasn't on one of their records. And if you were like me and you were obsessed with Nirvana, you got anything you could that they were on.
Right. I mean, and Nirvana track aside, I mean, the rest of those compilations, fucking awesome.
So I will point out, because we all know I'm a huge Beastie Boys fan. They do the new style on here, but it's like a total remix version. Like that's one thing that I've always liked about them. It's a live version of the new style. Beastie Boys when they had, even with DJ Hurricane and with Mixmaster Mike, they would just mix up the song in the middle of the song, and these guys knew the groove and the beat and how to just continue on with what they were doing. But it's a different version from what's on License to Ill. check it out. It's one of my favorite versions of the song.
Mm-hmm.
They, you know, I'm never going to say anything bad about Beastie Boys. They fucking rule.
Yes.
I guess I do have our. If I forgot to put it down, but why don't you start this next one?
Okay. The next one is probably, I mean, it's definitely one of the earliest secret tracks that I can remember. And I won't tell the story about the night I heard it because I'm not going to incriminate myself or the guy that I was with when we were riding around on gravel roads in Louisiana, Missouri, and what we were doing and why this fucking song freaked me out so bad. But yeah, the next secret track we're going to talk about is from Tool Undertow. This is a bootleg copy of the very first pressing of Undertow. This is what the promo version of Undertow looked like. For those of you that don't know, this is not the standard black with red rib cage that Nick has sitting beside him. This is a promotional bootleg. My good friends at Hit Records in Columbia have an actual very first clear promo pressing of this, and it goes for like $900. I've seen it. I've wanted to touch it, but they won't let me touch it because if I'm not buying it, I ain't touching it. I don't blame them a bit. But Tool Undertow, the hidden track on here is Disgustipated. What a track! What a fucking track! I just it's hard to describe. How do I describe Disgustipated? Help me out here.
You're being preached to by a bunch of carrots.
Yes,
No,
yes.
if somebody's preaching to a bunch of carrots.
Reverend Maynard James Keenan has an epiphany about the carrots about tomorrow or the angel on high took him on high or something and said, "Damn you, let the rabbits wear glasses." It's a fucking thing, dude. Life feeds on life, feeds on life, feeds on this is necessary. There's a shotgun, there's a fucking life feeds on life, feeds on that. This is necessary. It's just so fucking good, dude. The song is so fucking good. But after the actual track, after Disgustipated and all of its magical shotgun preaching glory, there's a thing where it sounds like crickets. And as the crickets are playing, which describes the situation that I was in whenever we were riding around on gravel roads, because we thought, man, these fucking crickets are loud as fuck. And then you hear this guy talking like, you woke up in your ditch and your color was green, and it's like, what is this? What are we listening to? Where did this come from? And yeah, so technically 2 hidden tracks on Undertow, but yeah, I wanted to show off my copy of the CD or my copy of the vinyl, and I also dug out a copy of the CD, which I don't know if a lot of people know this. And again, this is another BMG. I was a big BMG fan back in the 90s. Very, very, very rough copy. Like the thing is broke. The little thing in the middle that holds the CD is even completely broke off. But for those of you that don't know, which I'm sure everybody at this point knows this, but if you take off the tray where the CD sits, there is a picture of a cow licking its own butthole.
Yes.
I'm sure everybody that's a Tool fan or has ever heard, even the ones that only liked Undertow, that never, listened to them past Undertow or whatever, know about the cow licking its own butthole under the disc tray. But, yeah. Wanted to show off my CD copy.
I just recently watched an interview of Kurt Cobain. Not too happy with the Tool Sober music video because it was a clear ripoff of some other band. And he says, "I hope they get sued," is what he said. Yeah, this was a cool record. I too at one point did LSD and listened to this album. What a fucking record! I mean, like Jeff said, like when we were coming up with this, when we were coming up with this idea, I suggested because Opiate has got a track. I think it's called I don't know, Lotus something. Jeff was suggesting the one off of Salvia, which I absolutely despise. I don't want to even get into that, but Jeff probably will talk about it.
Yes.
Not my favorite secret track, but we went with this album because in my opinion, this is what started it off for me with Tool. I heard this first before I heard Anima.
Mm-hmm.
This was, as far as like what people were saying was alternative in the '90s, which I wouldn't consider this an alternative band. Tool was, they weren't a metal band, they weren't a rock band. They were a little proggy, but like they were a little different from everybody else. That's why I liked them. They didn't sound like anybody else. They were very different. Maynard had a very unique voice, but for the most part, the music really like it hit me different from everything else I was listening to at the time. I was in a very deep like I wanted the next Nirvana, and this certainly wasn't it, but this was good shit.
Yeah.
This was Adam Jones' pig, his pet pig, and he shaved undertow in the side, and they did this and hoisted him up, posed a photo. Yeah, nothing negative to say about this album, but Tool, the Kings of Secret, or couple albums, their albums have secret tracks. Yeah.
What was the other one we found? 10,000 Days had one or something. No,
No,
10,000 Days had
you were
Fayette de Oya.
you were trying to put Salvia in there, and I didn't like that track. I thought that one was
Maynard's dick, dude. It's so good. It's fun. Especially after Los Angeles Municipal Court, LAMC. Like you hear that.
they put all these like
Dun, dun,
these weird
dun,
tracks. I
dun.
remember buying that mostly because I wanted those music videos, but there was a CD that had like a live version of Third Eye.
And You Lied, and
That's right.
Peach. There was a Peach song that they covered.
Because at that time we were not getting new Tool. A Perfect Circle was pretty much Maynard's main focus at the time because Tool was in a legal battle with their record label.
Mm-hmm.
So all they could do is kind of like give you like, here's some old stuff and a couple of things you haven't heard before, I believe, is how that went.
And my box, my sellable box is right there.
Yeah. I had it on both
VHS
and DVD.
Yeah, I never had the DVD. I also got the original VHS from '94 or whatever year it came out.
Like a fool, I upgraded.
Mm-hmm.
All right. We're going to end this episode strong, like Jeff said. Jeff, what is our last secret track?
Our last track is probably one of the coolest. Our last secret track is probably one of the coolest ones ever, as far as I'm concerned. Because this one, like certain copies of the CD, you got to watch the numbers go up from number 7, 6, 7. I don't even remember what. From number 6. Okay, so track number 6 was the actual last song on the album, and then you watch it go from 7 to 98, and you got to watch your number go up. This album, you got to watch the track list go from number 7 up to number 98. Talking about 9 Inch Nails, Broken. Whenever I was digging through my CDs, and as I stated in the JR episode, I got this copy within the last year or so. I did not originally have this back in the 90s, but I had to have a copy of it with the extra little 3-inch CD that has the tracks Physical and Suck on it, which were the actual hidden tracks on the original, or I guess the second pressing on CD. But the gatefold for this fucking thing is, I love how they did this. The NIN, the gatefold broken thing. But yeah, Broken, Physical, and Suck, tracks numbers 98 and 99 were fun. They were just a fun way to, because like I said, I don't remember any other CD going up that high and watching the numbers jump.
The Antichrist Superstar did that. The Antichrist Superstar did that as well, yeah.
9 Inch Nails, Maryland Dance. And like I said, that was the first time I ever saw.
Yeah, this is probably my favorite 9 Inch Nails release. I mean, like from start to finish, even all 98 tracks, even the blank space, great stuff. No, I this wasn't when I discovered them, but this was certainly a breath of fresh air because I had never heard anything like this before. You know, there's a lot of like metal bands out there, but to corporate industrial side of things was pretty unique to me. And I know a lot of people will credit Trent Reznor for being one of the most brilliant songwriters out there. He absolutely is. Like Jeff, I have the vinyl, but mine came with the 7-inch.
Mm-hmm.
Comes in this separate sleeve because it clearly won't slide in there. Yeah, I mean, for them, all these years later when they re-released it on vinyl to give you this whole option, fuck yeah, guys. I mean, keep the EP on the vinyl and then give us the other 2 bonus tracks that we didn't get. Although, yeah, and I'm gonna go ahead and say these are secret tracks because on the back, it's not no track listing for those other 2 songs. You'd have to do your research and be a giant 9 Inch Nails fan like my co-host here to know what the hell it is you're listening to and what it is. But man, I'm just like getting goosebumps thinking about this record right now. This is so fucking good. The first time I ever heard Wish, especially when that chorus kicks in. But awesome band. What a fucking mine doesn't open up all cool like Jeff's CD as you can see, but I just wanted to show off that I have a giant version of it as well. Not the cool one like Jeff though.
No, the vinyl rules. I'm glad that they reissued that in what 2021 or 22.
17, and I think they may have this one says 2017, but I think they did it again because it sold so well.
Yeah.
So Interscope is just like printing money off of 9 Inch Nails by now.
Well, sure, sure. And dude, I forgot that this was Halo 5. I mean, goddamn, all of 9 Inch Nails albums or even their singles and stuff are different Halos, but Broken is Halo 5. That's awesome. That's awesome. The upcoming Tron soundtrack, that is the newest 9 Inch Nails album, is Halo 36. So there's that. If you're keeping track at home, Halo 36 is the new 9 Inch Nails.
Jeff, did you get any new records lately?
Yeah. I got some new albums. I got speaking of the earlier whenever Nick was talking about his favorite Deftones song from favorite Deftones, I got the new Deftones. It's good. I got the new one, Private Music. I was very surprised by this, by how good it is. There's a couple really fucking good tracks. Like, Limited Source. The chorus is very pop, reminiscent of the last episode.
Last episode? I believe that's going to be it. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. That'll be our last episode, or previous episode, not our last episode. Limited Source. Cut Hands is a very fucking heavy song. Very happy with this album. After listening to my first initial listen, I purchased a copy on vinyl, on clear vinyl, no less. So, yeah, new Deftones. Yesterday was the official release date of a particular pop artist's album. Nick will go more into this as we go along. I bought this copy from Walmart yesterday. This is the brand new Sabrina Carpenter, Man's Best Friend. I have not quit listening to this fucking album, dude. I bet I've listened to this thing 5 times.
Fuck yeah, dude.
It's so good. It's so good, dude. Manchild. I fucking love Manchild. Go-Go Juice. All of it, dude. It just... What an album. And look at this chick, dude. Look at her.
She got a lot of shit for that album cover, which like all of her like female fans were like in love with it though.
Yeah, the fact that it was on display in Walmart, like whenever I walked up to Walmart, I'm like looking around, like, but I picked it up and like put the inside of it like this, like where I was walking. Dude, I'm a 45-year-old man. Like I don't know, dude, I'm embarrassed for this thing, but my God, what an album! So good, beginning to end. Love it. Absolutely love this album. Today, 12 years ago today, August 31st, 2012, 2013. God damn it. 12 years ago today, 2013. My wife and I got married. Today is our 12-year anniversary. This morning.
Happy anniversary, buddy.
Thank you. 12 years of marriage to the greatest woman in the world. This morning, whenever I was while she was getting ready for work, I just got up just for whatever reason, and I come out to the table, and there's a package, a wrapped present on the table, and it's the size of a record. And she said, "Open up your present." And I said, "Fuck, okay." So I open it up, and it is an original press, an OG press of the Alice in Chains Unplugged.
The best Unplugged, by the way.
Second best Unplugged. It is, and whenever I was told by the guys that hit records that it was an OG press, it's a third press. Still very highly sought after. It was from 2000, and I'm almost positive this is the same copy that you have, Nick. It's a 2010 Music on Vinyl.
Yep, yeah, I got that one. Fuck, they're not cheap. They are not cheap. Me and my mom had to track one. We had to track one down for my niece a couple years ago for Christmas because she wanted it too. Mm-hmm. Phenomenal. In my opinion, the best Unplugged. No covers. They fucking killed it, start to finish, and a unreleased song at the end of that album.
Right.
Killer is Me.
Killer is Me. It is a solid Unplugged. It's not Nirvana, but it's a solid Unplugged.
That intro when they all it starts with Jerry, and then they all come out and start with Nutshell, and then when Lane hits and you hear that crowd erupt, it's just that gives me fucking goosebumps every time.
Mm-hmm. Agreed. It's good. It's very good. But anyway, I own the same copy as Nick now, and I just bought myself a copy like 2 weeks ago. So now I've got another copy that I don't even want. I mean, I want it, but I mean, I'm going to sell it now. But it's like $50. I paid $50 for it. So if anybody out there wants a copy of a bootleg copy, because I don't need it now that I have a third pressing, an original press, not a bootleg, $50. Hit me up because I'm selling that fucking thing now. So,
yeah, man.
Oh no! And I forgot this. I got the 9 Inch Nails single for "As Alive as You Need Me to Be" from the upcoming Tron soundtrack. Since I was just talking about it a little bit ago, hey, this is Halo 35. Actually, this single is Halo 35.
So 30 releases later from Broken.
Yes. That's it. That's all my new stuff.
All right. I don't have too many. I only got a couple things to talk about here, but let's get into it. A couple weeks ago, our good friend Mr. James Watson hit me up. He's like, "Hey, did you know that Hell's Headbangers is re-releasing some Portal stuff?" I was like, "I did not. I do own this, but I don't own it on regular vinyl. I have a picture disc of it because they re-released it a couple years ago. And unfortunately, the barcode that came with it is like the same as like the 2012 presses, but this is a brown black mergey Hellfire-ish. I don't know what. Portal's one of my favorite bands. They're very unique. They don't sound like anybody else. Happy to add another. Yeah, I like it. It looks pretty cool. Shout out to Hell's Headbangers because they, I think, are saving me from spending hundreds of dollars on the OG pressing that's only available in Australia. Mm-hmm. I love this artwork. It's very Burzum-ish, but this band doesn't suck like Burzum. They don't suck like Burzum. Next thing I got, someone really fucking cool. I don't want to mention their name and blow smoke up their ass. Sent me a really cool record before I even paid them for it. South Park's Bigger, Longer, Uncut, the soundtrack. I did not own this, and thankfully my co-host here is like, "Hey, I bought a copy, but it's the one I already have, so I'll sell this one to you for over $1 million." I PayPal Jeff for this, and he sent it to me, even though the sticker only says 70. I got ripped off by my co-host.
Oh, quit it! Oh, shut.
This is number 257. What the hell? I guess this is the Kenny and Kyle. No,
Kenny and Cartman.
Kenny and Cartman version. Thank you. I haven't opened it yet, but I could go on and on about stories about seeing this movie in the theater when I was I was 19 years old and I was drunk as shit, and I like fell out of my chair laughing when they started singing Uncle Fucker. Last thing I talked about this last episode, but I completely forgot to show off what made this so cool. Van Halen Balance. I recently bought this. It was like the first Van Halen CD I bought as a kid, but there's an etching on it, and I totally forgot to show it off in the last episode. So I brought it back. I wanted to show you guys this.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, this before we started recording, I was watching stuff on YouTube, and I found a really cool Van Halen concert from Pensacola, Florida. It started off the Balance tour in 1995, and They played the "Don't Tell Me," which is the first single that they released off this album. They played that live, and I love that intro riff. Like, I don't care if you don't like Sammy Hagar, you're not hurting my feelings. He's definitely a better vocalist than David Lee Roth. David Lee Roth was definitely one hell of a showsman. I think the songs that they wrote when David was in the band were fucking phenomenal. There's no doubt about it. Nobody's going to argue that with anybody. But when Sammy Hagar joined the band, they wrote some fucking quality ass tunes. And Jeff, go spend a day, make a Van Hagar playlist, and tell me that I'm wrong. Like, these songs are fucking quality. Eddie was a great guitarist. All those dudes are great musicians. But when Sammy joined the band, he's got a good fucking voice, an extremely powerful voice, I might add. It took me many years to come to terms with that because I was definitely on that no David Lee Roth, no fuck that. But I do like this album a lot. I'm sorry I'm talking about it 2 weeks in a row, but yeah, I just forgot to show off that cool etching that it came with because, yeah, man.
Real quick, two things that I need to clarify. First off, whenever I bought that fucking bigger, longer nut cut, I paid $150 total for the record and shipping. And whenever I hit up Nick, whenever I received it, the day that I got it in the mail and I realized it was the same copy I already had, I hit up Nick and I said, hey, I just, told him the whole story. I tried to buy the other copy that was Kyle and Stan. And I said, hey, I wound up with the second copy of this. Do you want it? And I will pay you, or I will sell it to you what I paid. I know it says $70, but I paid $150. So there's that.
Check his PayPal statement. It says $150 million I sent him.
Second off, I have nothing against the Sammy Hagar era.
Cool.
Nothing against, because so like whenever you threw me under the bus and said, go ahead, make a Hagar playlist, I got nothing against the guy. I never said I did.
People hate.
I know. But the
people
thing that
hate
irritates me,
so good.
The thing that irritates me whenever they talk about the Sammy Hagar days, they call it Van Hagar. Like, it wasn't Van Roth.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
It's always been Van Halen. I mean, I get it. That way you decipher which era is which.
Do you know where that term came from? The first time I ever heard it was Meet Joe Dirt, when he was sitting there and he's like, I'm a Van Halen, not Van Hagar fan. He said that, and I think that really was the big divide. Even in Airheads, whose side did you pick, David Lee Roth or Van Halen? That really split people too.
Sure.
You can be one of those people. That's fine. But I'm in the same boat as Jeff. I mean, I made this bold decision years ago that, like, they wrote good songs. I mean, it's not bold. It's the truth. They wrote some good songs. It wasn't Jamie's Crying. It wasn't Erupt. It wasn't Hot for Teacher, Panama Jump. But he still could fucking play his guitar. It's not like he sucked at it after Dave left. They're still a great band. Shout out to fucking Van Halen. Rest in peace, Eddie Van Halen. Yeah. A couple years ago, me and some friends were hanging out. And we did we linked our phones to the TV and we're watching a bunch of Van Halen videos. And we decided to do all Hagar stuff with him. And I was just like, God damn, these are some fucking awesome songs. Where's the hate? Because he wasn't going bibbity bop and all that shit. I mean, I don't get it.
That's a whole thing we could just go off on a tangent about, because I want to say some more shit, but I really don't care.
No, yeah. I don't want to get too deep in it because we are at the end of our episode. But
yeah, we're done.
Yeah. Thank you to everybody for watching. Thank you, Jeff, for taking the time and correcting me that I forgot Undertow. I can't believe that. I put it up on my shelf thinking I was going to show it off, and I completely forgot to put it on our list there, but it made the list.
Yeah, yes, it did. Yes, and rightfully so. And thank you to Kane for once again making me throw the fucking ball the entire time I'm on camera. But yeah, yes, this was a fun episode. Got to show some CDs.
For sure.
Oh, and dude, real quick, since we're at the end, I also found my copy of Anima that has the lenticular thing. And it's cool because, I found it. I was just like, I want to try to sneak this in there where California breaks off. But yeah, I got the lenticular Anima. I know we didn't talk about it, but I found that CD, so I put the case out too. So.
Cool. Well, thank you everybody for watching, and we will see you all next week.
All right. See you guys.